There's a new free premium vehicle that you can pick up within World of Tanks console alongside other kind of rewards that you can get as well, including a commander and that sort of stuff with the new D-Day event that's honouring the 80th anniversary of D-Day itself, and hopefully it'll be an interesting one for you guys to take a look at the challenge in detail, as well as we're going to cover some of the other news that's coming next week on Tuesday and some of the discounts and also some of the sales of some items you may want to pick up if you are that way inclined. But first things first, the D-Day Storm the Beach event that's going to go on. So first things first, the D-Day event basics. The D-Day event is a special game mode that you can access from the game start/main menu. So you can actually jump into the event from the main menu. It will be in the same way that you can jump into Cold War or World War II. It's in that menu. You'll be able to see it right now on the game. So it's the same as all of the other events like Monster Mash, for example, which comes out at Halloween. But in this event, you'll be playing the role of a US tank commander taking part in the Normandy invasion, or Normandy. Don't know why I said that weirdly, but either way, that means that you can only use certain types of tank for this event. Only US tanks and only tanks from tiers 5 and 6. So this includes the Shermans and a variety of different tanks that are included in that. But essentially, Tier 6 and Tier 5 American vehicles, which, for example, a Hellcat may potentially be a good option for this event, or maybe an M6, something like this, is probably going to fare you quite well in this event. Then, of course, once the match is underway, your mission begins, Commander. You'll be part of a 7-player team that will have 15 minutes to complete 3 phases. The first phase is the clear the beach. Then you've got capture the bases, which there are 3 bases, so it's kind of like capture the flag. And then you've got to capture the enemy headquarters, where you've got to go in and actually kind of fight yourself against some of the opposing forces. So even though the T-34 Calliope was not actually deployed on D-Day, it's excellent for this event apparently. But this is one of the rewards for the Resolution season, or the multiple seasons, and basically the Resolution event where we all got the Calliope or Calliope. But what else have we got? Well, after your first victory, and only your first victory, you'll receive a D-Day event trophy. So this is kind of cool, and you'll be able to use it in your customizable garage. So this is what it looks like, the 1944 June 6th D-Day. This is something you can add into your garage and essentially have it all of the time. Now, this event does start on the 4th of June, so you have 2 days until this actually begins, so be aware of that and make sure that you are ready when this event goes live. This challenge is set up like many of the other recent special event challenges. As you complete specific goals during the event, you'll be awarded points. Now, Storm the Beach gives you destroy all enemies on the beach, and that will give you 2 points. So that will be 2 points per player, not just in total and divided up between all of the 15 players, obviously. Then you've got secure FOBs, which is capture a base, and that will give you 1 point per base captured, so you can get up to 3 points for that. And then secure the beachhead, which is capture all 3 bases, will give you an additional 5 points, so up to 8 points in total from just capturing the bases, and then an additional 2 points for destroying all enemies on the beach, which will give you a total of 10 points between all of them if you do capture all of the bases and capture all 3. And then completing the event, that will essentially give you an additional 6 points, so that will give you 16 points in total. But what do you actually get from the rewards? Is it actually worth spending your time doing this event? Well, the first thing that you'll get, or with the kind of key reward that you're actually able to pick up, is the M4A3 Easy 8 Thunderbolt 7 medium tank. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, but this is it. It's an Easy 8 Sherman that's a premium, and essentially that is what you get. The tank is nothing particularly too special. It's been in the game for a while. I'm sure some of you may even have this tank, but it's a kind of cool, that I guess, memento to the actual D-Day landings and stuff like that, and hence why they've kind of chucked it in. It's a real life tank that was actually used, at least some variants of the Shermans used within D-Day. So yeah, either way, that is actually available for people to pick up, and it is free, so that's always the best thing. But how do you actually get it? Well, essentially you have to go through all of the different challenges by earning a ton of points. And this is my main problem for this event. There is a total of 250 points that you have to actually get for this event, which means for those wanting to actually pick up this tier 6 premium vehicle, it's going to take about 15 completions of the event, slightly less if you do absolutely everything that you need to for that event. 15 successful completions. And so, yeah, is it going to be worth you spending your time, spending multiple hours probably to be able to pick up this tier 6 premium, or would you simply just go out and buy the tank for 3,400 gold? Really depends on what your kind of preference is, but I'm sure many people would rather just buy the tank and play it if they're interested than spend time doing something that you might not enjoy, or just not spend the money at all and go outside and do something else. I'm sure many people will be taking that option rather than trying to grind out this event for 250 points. I think this is quite a lot. And there's not really that you can do anything individual to get more points, which is, I think, the biggest thing. 16 points in total for completing the whole event. Yes, you will be able to pick up some vehicle XP boosters. You start off with number 1, which is 25 points, and you get the ×2 vehicle XP booster. Then you can get the 2D hero commander, which is Creighton Abrams. Then you can get yourself essentially some garage gear, which is a Tiger 1 turret under repair, which you can see slightly lower. This is what the actual reward looks like. You can get it in your garage. It's free. You don't have to spend any money, which is great. You can see the skin here. The D-Day 1944 vehicle skin for the M4A3 Easy 8 Sherman, which I'm sure many people will actually go for because this is maybe a limited time event, but knowing Wargaming, it will probably be sold at some point in the future anyway. But other than that, then you come on to some ×4 Commander XP boosters. Then you can get yourself some emblems which have the D-Day 80 years anniversary. Then you've got yourself some premium consumables, and then you've got yourself 80th anniversary of D-Day inscriptions. You've got some 8x Commander XP boosts, some 5x vehicle XP boosts, which are nice, alongside some 5x free XP boosts, and then of course the tank when you do get to 250 points. So yeah, quite a long slog. You do get a medal at the end of it, which will be exclusive to the 80th anniversary. So yes, you won't be able to get this one again. But yeah, it's just down to whether or not you think that it is going to be worth it. And of course, it's taken so long to actually complete this, I probably won't end up doing it myself. So yeah, and I literally play this game a lot as a content creator. So I'm sure many of the casual players are just going to be basically time limited out of this, and of course boredom limited, because there's only so many times you want to do one specific event over and over and over again unless it's quite dynamic. Now we'll do a video on the actual event itself when it does go live into the game, as I'm sure it will be quite fun for a couple completions, but I'm assuming 15 completions in, you're probably going to be wanting to play a different game mode, and it isn't out for that long. It's only out for 7 days from Tuesday until the following 11th of June. So it's not out for the longest time, and I think this is going to be one of the biggest problems, is that most people aren't going to want to feel forced into spending the only time they get to play World of Tanks console doing this event. And so in my eyes, this would have been a decent reward for 150 points, and then remove some of the extra kind of stuff, filler stuff, things like premium consumables. Just get rid of that. There's no real need to have any of this. The ×4 Commander XP boost, just get rid of that, and essentially reduce all of the points down if they didn't want to, you know, give you a load of rewards extra on top of it. So yeah, I would recommend having put 15 points here. That's 10 completions to fully kit it out. It's 10 successful completions rather than the 15 where it's probably going to feel like a headache to actually do. So yeah, is it worth it? Down to you. Is it worth it for the exclusives? I think a lot of people will want to do it for the exclusives, and maybe even I will, just to prove that this is something that you should maybe do if you're a collector. But for the vast majority of people, it's probably unfeasible for them to do, which I think is one of the big problems about them having it out. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say. Do you think that this is a good event? I think the idea is great, but the actual amount of points it requires to fully complete it in the time limit that we're given is just not good enough. But either way, we can move on now to the next point. That will be coming in on the 4th of June, so that's Tuesday. So be aware, it's coming in Tuesday. Either way, moving on. We have the weekly maintenance on the 28th of May, which is coming in. This update will include Tank Connoisseur, win a battle and get 1.5 times experience. So this is super easy to do, and essentially a 1.5 times XP boost on every single vehicle for the first win. So first win, you get 2 times XP plus an additional 1.5 times XP. So really nice, and essentially will be available for the week. So you've got 7 opportunities to get 1.5 times XP. The recommendation for when you actually use this is to play all of the vehicles that you're trying to grind in the tech trees, and therefore you're always playing with 1.5 times XP. It's really handy. I've used it in the past to grind through multiple tech trees faster without having to pay for XP boosters. Then we have Prelude to Overlord, which is 50% off all cosmetics, including tank and commander skins. So this is really nice for those of you interested in cosmetics. I really like the 50% off. You can buy skins and stuff like that, which is good, tank skins. And that's pretty much what I would spend my gold on when I do go for things like this. And then we've got ×5 tank XP boosters, ×8 commander XP boosters, silver boosters, premium consumables, all on sale in the store as well. The only thing I would ever kind of somewhat recommend, debatably, if you've got the money and you don't mind spending your money to fast track yourself on the game to get through vehicles and stuff like that, is the ×5 tank XP boosters. These are the best way to get through tech tree lines and grind through without buying free XP, and free XP is more expensive, especially if you're a good player at the game. ×5 tank XP boosters are sometimes worth it, but I would never actually go out and say everyone should buy ×5 tank XP boosters. It's completely down to your financial situation, and me personally, I haven't bought them in a long time, and usually I'll just save up my gold from the seasons and eventually just spend that on buying some XP boosters, because at the end of the day I've got a lot of premium tanks anyway, and they're not really crucial for me as a player on the game. Then we've got weekly sales, which are 30% off, and MBT 70, T34 85M, and the Valentine 2, all vehicles that are kind of somewhat related to D-Day, bar the MBT 70, and of course the T34 85M, but the Valentine 2 definitely. And then the T34 85M, very good vehicle, and it will be 30% off, so potentially worth buying, and it is very cheap. If you want just a tank to have a bit of fun in, it is really good and useful. MBT 70 probably less so, and yeah, I mean, it's never been great. The Valentine 2, it's a novel, weird vehicle that I wouldn't really recommend buying, but it's there for collectors and stuff like that to actually get if you're interested. ×4 commander XP boosters in 10 lots, and ×3 XP boosters, so tank XP, with 10 lots as well, are available on a weekly deal, but most likely it's better to just save your money and buy them as a 50% discount, 60% discount when they do the big bundles of like 100 or like 75 or 50. It's much better to do that, and you also get the ×5 XP boosters versus the ×3, which save you that much more time. Basically, every hour that you spend with ×5 XP boosters saves you 4 hours in total. Super savings, 50% off. You get the T2 light tank Valiant and the WZ-111-66 version for Cold War. Nothing spectacular there in terms of the sales, in my opinion. The only thing I am kind of looking forward to is picking up a couple of skins potentially for some of the vehicles in the game. So with that being said, that's a very brief overview of what happened this week and next week on the game. But most importantly, for those of you wondering about the Rogel Dawn, it is at a 15% discount, but I would never recommend actually purchasing it right now because it will go on discount for 50% off when we get further in the big community Warhammer 40,000 themed challenge that does go on in the game. But that wraps up today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like and of course ask any questions that you can think of in the comment section down below, and I'll try my best to reach out to you and try and answer them for you. And of course, I'm very interested to see your opinions on the new event. Do you think it's too hard? Do you think it's too easy? Or do you think they actually got it quite right? You think it's a fair amount of time that you'd have to spend doing the game mode to get the exclusive rewards? Either way, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Don't sweat it too much if you don't think you're going to be able to complete the event, because at the end of the day, this is just a game. It doesn't really matter. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Goodbye.